Well, hey, Vision. Okay, we are jumping into a new series today. And let me tell you, these next 4 weeks, this series, it has a chance to impact the rest of your life. I mean, like radically, this can take you somewhere, or honestly, you can stay on a certain track. You got my ducks, Meg? I had to have some ducks up here because we got some gifts for you guys today. I'll come back to the ducks in a minute. Now, if you're sitting there saying, oh, man, I do the short straw. My friend invites me to Vision, and they're talking about money. Great. Great. Come on, nervous laughter. Come on, let me hear nervous laughter. You're like, no. First of all, a Vision Church doesn't need your money. Okay, this doesn't lead toward any campaign, any project, we're passing the plates again and again and again. No. This is about living the blessed life. Now, would anybody in here like to live a life that is blessed? Because what I try to do sometimes, when I try to understand something, you say, man, blessed life, that sounds good. Or I'm kind of new to church, or I don't even know what that means, but I better put my hand up. What I try to do is I look at opposites. So I say, okay, what is not a blessed life? I think a non-blessed life is one that has lots of stress and lots of tension, a lot of relational conflict, a lot of financial anxiety, a lot of unclear decision-making, a lot of things that just weigh down on you. And you're saying, I don't like how this feels, God. I can't describe it. But he's talking about a blessed life, and it does not feel like a blessed life. Now, I'm not just talking about a blessed wallet. Although, how many would like to have a blessed wallet? You'd be like, yeah. No. Okay, that may be a byproduct. God may bless you financially. This is not, the prosperity message of do this, and then your bank account will do this. No. This is about having a blessed life that is opposite of all those negative things I just said. A blessed life where God looks at you and he says, I want to bless you. I don't want you to live a frustrated, discouraged, depressed, beaten down life. I want you to thrive and live a blessed life. So this series is called Ducks in a Row. So would anybody like to take home a free duck today? A free duck today. I'm seeing they want there. There you go. Well, long shot. Oh, good catch. And then this way. Oh yeah, I'm seeing. There you go, catching it. I'm going for it. Oh yes, it's there. Now the good news is, actually every household will get a free duck today. The better news is that when you're leaving, just have a little fun with this. Because here at Vision, why do church if we can't have a little fun? When you go out there, and host teams will be supervising, you can pull out a duck, and if you get one with a V on it, you win a gift card to Chick-fil-A. If you get one with another thing on it, you get like a box of candy. So they're just a little bit of fun, but keep an eye on Scott Mann. He's not like pulling them up. You get to pick one. And you're laughing like, oh, that's interesting, a duck. No, I want you to take a duck home so it goes on your kitchen counter or in your car or at your workplace, somewhere, so that during the week, not only does it remind you, but also hopefully somebody says, man, what's up with the duck on your desk? Oh, let me tell you. Because, and you say to them, wouldn't you like to have a blessed life? And they're like, yeah. You said, hey, at my church, we're talking about how God wants us to get our ducks in a row so we can have a blessed life. So if you got your takeaway card or you got on the app, pull it out. So I've got some notes for you today. I got a little diagram for you today. I'm telling you, these next 4 weeks, it's like a 4-piece puzzle. So if you miss it all, you go to the beach, you go somewhere, you're sick, catch it on Facebook Live or on our website or the app. So you put all 4 pieces of the puzzle together. I promise you, it's a formula to get you moving toward a blessed life. So the first blank on there, God wants you to live a blessed life. You're like, yeah. And he wants to bless you so you'll be a blessing. You're like, Okay, so think about that. We're all saying, I want the blessed life. And honestly, God wants you to have a blessed life. And there's an and to it. The and is he wants to bless you so you can be a blessing. So what I want to do now is I want you to literally almost kind of like prophesy. And you're like, whoa, prophesy, that's weird. Prophesy is prediction. Okay, prophesy is making a prediction. So I need you, if you would believe this in your heart, that you'd repeat after me, I am a blessing. I am a blessing.
I am a blessing.
I am a blessing.
I am a blessing.
Okay, last time, I am a blessing.
I am a blessing.
Okay, so what I'm doing right there is I'm giving you a chance to literally prophesy or predict and say, God, not I'm going to be a blessing, or not even I want to be a blessing, but actually, start right now, I am a blessing. Because God, you're teaching me things, you're showing me things, you're pouring into me, not just so I can be blessed, but literally you're speaking with confidence saying, I am a blessing. And I promise you, the evil one, because we believe in spiritual attack here. We just spent 7 weeks on it. The evil one is saying, no, you're not. You don't have that in you. You can't do that. You're not blessed. Think about all the things going wrong. Think about all the things you're doing wrong. You're saying, nope, I'm a blessing. God is blessing me. I have a blessed life. I'm blessed to be a blessing to others. So, hey, let's figure out how to do that now, how to put that together, because I want that in my life. I want that in your life. We start in Proverbs 11. It says, one person gives freely, yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly, becomes to poverty. You know, this is like an open-handed or clutched kind of concept, where you're saying with your life, with your finances, with your resources, with your time, your energy, if you live more like this, your world gets bigger. If you live like this and you keep it in here, your world gets smaller and smaller, relationally, financially, emotionally, it all gets here. But when you can trust God and say, okay, God, I'm trusting you. I'm going to release, your world gets bigger. Now, how about this concept of ducks in a row? You're like, oh, that's cute. Man, that's kind of like a cute little picture and stuff. No, this has purpose in this name. We're getting our definition of this from the Urban Dictionary. You know me, I'm hip. I'm reading that Urban Dictionary, okay? That's me. Okay. The Urban Dictionary says, ducks in a row, to be well prepared or well organized, I love this, for something that is going to happen. Yes. You got that? Yes. You get your ducks in a row, you're getting organized, you're getting prepared for something that is going to happen. I'm like, yes, I want that. Especially when you take the power of God and put it in there and you say, okay, God, I'm getting things lined up, ducks in a row. You tell me how to do it, I'm going to do it because I'm believing something is going to happen. Now, we got 2 key terms to this series, preparation and stewardship. You're like, preparation, okay, and stewardship. Now, the free thinkers and the artists are like, preparation, man, I just want to like do and think. No, God honors some structure, not crazy structure, but some structure, some preparation. Stewardship is merely saying, okay, here's what I got. God, here's what you've entrusted to me. I want to take good care of it. And you're like, well, Matt, those terms aren't real sexy. Those terms, they're not real like inspiring. I want to get prepared today. I want to be a better steward this week. If you will trust me for 4 weeks and say, God, teach me. Literally, don't even say, Pastor Matt, teach me. Say, God, you teach me about preparation and stewardship. That's going to lead you to the blessed life. I'm telling you. Now, it's interesting with money and possessions, and people are like, oh, man, we got to talk about that in church? That's all pastors talk about. No, it's not. It's not. I talk about it maybe half a dozen times a year, 6, 8 times a year. In the Bible, you look from front to back, money and possessions are referenced to or talked about 800 times. 800 times. Second most topic in the Bible besides speaking of God and Jesus. 800 times. You're like, yeah, because God needs my money. No, he doesn't. Have you looked up at the sky lately at night? You seen all the stars? You look out and see trees and the Grand Canyon and this whole earth. God doesn't need any of your stuff. What God wants to do is speak to your heart. And if you're at all like me, and as a human being, you probably are like me, a lot of your thinking revolves around your stuff, around your money, around your bank account, around your retirement, around your debt. It just does. God says, okay, I'm going to teach you to think about things differently. And I'm going to speak into the number one thing in your life, your money and possessions. That's what God does. I love how he did it. He sent his son Jesus, and Jesus told stories. And this story today, I'm going to go through, I want you to lock it in, and I am encouraging you, even challenging you, talk about it at home. Talk about it at lunch today, or dinner tonight, or sometime this week, and say, hey, let's talk about this story some more. Because it's an easy story to remember and retell. But Jesus, the master teacher, the guy that they said astonished them with his teaching, he told this story. It comes from Matthew 25. It says again, he'll be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, to another 2 bags, and another 1 bag, each according to his ability. Then he went on a journey. Now, if you have maybe an older translation, one that says he gave them talents, don't get confused. And some people read that and say, oh yeah, my talents are this and this and this. No, in those days, talents was a measure of money And specifically, I'll break it down in a minute, how much that was, but it is a lot of money he's talking about here. A lot of money. The man who'd received 5 bags of gold went at once, put his money to work, and gave 5 more. Good job to him. Okay, so also the guy with 2, he took his and gave 2 more. Good job to him. But the man who received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and don't miss that phrase, dug a hole. We're going to come back to that. He dug a hole in the ground. He hid his master's money. Well, after a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The guy had received 5. He brought the other 5. He said, hey, master, man, I think I did great. Your 5, I've turned it into 10. That's pretty good business right there. His master replied, well done. Well done. You've done good. You've been faithful. As my servant, I'm saying, well done. You've been faithful with a few things. I'll put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. So a little aside here. When you think about your stuff, your money, does anybody here feel like you kind of got a few things? I mean, if we're being real, you're like, hey, I'm not a millionaire. I don't have a mansion. I don't have, $2 million in the bank. I've got a few things. God's saying, I see things differently. We're going to break this down. The man with 2 bags also came and said, hey, boss man, you entrusted me with 2 bags. I got 2 more. Same response from the master. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful with a few things. I'll put you in charge of many things. Come and share with your master's happiness. And then you get to the third guy. The man who received 1 bag of gold came. Master, he said, he's like, imagine shuffling around. He's like, oh, I know you're a hard man. Oh, you're tough. You're tough. I mean, because you reap where you don't sow, and man, you collect things that you didn't do, and you're tough. And I was scared, and I was nervous. And he kind of puts his story out there saying, maybe I've mismanaged it. I'm sorry. I'm not good enough. I didn't do right. He said, I was afraid. I went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here's what belongs to you. And he gives him 1 back. His master goes off. I don't know if you got a boss that goes off. This guy goes off. Say, hey, what we're dealing with here is too important. You wicked, lazy servant. You messed up. He said, so you knew that I harvest where I haven't sown and gather where I haven't scattered seed? Well then, at least you could have put your money on deposit with the bankers. So when I returned, I would receive it back with interest. He looks at the other guy and says, hey, take the bag of gold from him, give it to the one with 10. For whoever has will be given more, and they'll have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them, and throw that worthless servant outside into the darkness where there'll be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So again, when you're at your dinner table, lunch table, you're talking, it's simple. You got the boss man, 3 different servants. He's going away, say, here, you got 5, boom, you got 2, boom, you got 1, take care of it and I'll get back. He goes, he's away a long time, he comes back, you doubled it, good. You doubled it, good. You dug a hole in the ground, bad. I mean, that's the story. In 20 seconds, that's the story. We can pull some concepts out of this today and next week that will change the trajectory of your life. I promise you. Here's the first point. The next season of ability is dependent on the last season of responsibility. You're saying, yeah, God, I want more. Let's talk about money. I want more stuff. I want more money. I want you to entrust more to me. I want a raise. I want to have more resources. I want to do that. And I don't think God looks at that and says, no, or you're evil. He looks at you and he says, how are you managing what you have right now? And you're like, whoo, and I'm like, uh-oh, God's stepping on my toes. Okay, that's in our face. The concept is what you may get in the next season is dependent on what you're doing with it right now in this season. That ability in the next season is dependent on your responsibility in this season. Now, I'm not getting into your balance sheet today. I'm not getting into your bank accounts today. All this stuff with money is between you, your household, and God. But right now, some of us are thinking different things like, oh man, you don't want to see what I got. You don't want to see the way I'm managing this. You don't want to see my debt or how my ducks are not in a row. I don't even have very many ducks, and I can't keep them in a row. And you're just like feeling this. And God says, actually relax, because this is not about comparison. You understand? Each of the 3 the master talked to, he didn't necessarily compare them to each other. He said, you, This is an individual evaluation God does to see how are you handling your current responsibility. Let me ask you this. Are you praying for a miracle in your finances? Are you like, God, man, if you come through and we could pay off the truck, we could pay off the house, we can get out of debt, or we can buy the thing, we can do the thing. You're almost like praying for a miracle, and God's saying, your irresponsibility right now is completely taking a miracle off the table. He's saying, I want to see responsibility in your life, and then you're opening the gates. You're opening the floodgates for me to do something amazing. Let me give you an example of this. Okay, does anybody in here go to the gym to work out? Okay, does anybody in here have aspirations to go to the gym and work out? Okay, a lot more hands. Cool, okay. So let's say this is me. It's Monday, and I'm saying, okay, this week, man, I'm hitting the gym. I'm going to get healthier, and I come on here to Vision, and I'm meeting with Mitch, and when Mitch brought in a dozen donuts. I'm like, come on, man. I'm going to the gym later today. I'm supposed to be going to the gym. I mean, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I get about 2 donuts in. I head out to the truck to go home, and I'm like, not today. Not today. Tuesday comes, and Meg says, well, let's do this, and let's go here. And I'm like, but I'm supposed to go to the gym. Well, but I want to go there and do this. And Tuesday comes, I go to the gym. And Wednesday comes, and you could tell I didn't go to the gym. And I'm like, God, I want a miracle. I want you to do something about this. And God says, well, where was your responsibility on Monday? Where was your responsibility on Tuesday? God said, I can do some miracles. And he's like, it can take a miracle. He said, but God says, the patterns you build in your life will open the gates for me to do things and increase. And you laugh about the gym, but it's not a whole lot funny. We got so much debt, we can't even see anymore. We got so much stress because of finances, it's affecting everything. And God says, if you would listen to me and get your ducks in a row, then you're moving toward the blessed life. It's okay. Help me understand that, because it's interesting, this language. I said, dug a hole. Remember that story? You dug a hole? Has anybody in here ever thought about your finances and thought, man, I have dug myself into a hole? Interesting, isn't it? Jesus, 2,000 years ago, using phrasing that we're still pulling out now. Now, it's interesting in the story, it says that you're faithful with a few things. Now, we're listening to the story saying, okay, a bag of gold or, talents of silver, or whatever the amount, the thing was. This story actually, when you talk about a talent was equivalent to 6,000 days of work. So I calculated this out and said, okay, well, basically, this first guy in here, his money he was carrying in today's terms was $2.4 million. Second guy, $1 million. Third guy, $500,000. And the master's like, look, if you could just manage the simple things, I'm going to expand and go crazy. So you're like, man, I don't have much. I don't even have hardly any ducks. 2, 3 ducks. I mean, I don't have many ducks in a row. God says, if you manage that, you just wait and see what I'm going to do to bless you. Say, God, I want to understand that. I want to live that. Don't miss this. God is not limited by our small thinking. He's limited by our small obedience. And I'm like, oh man, he's stepping on my toes again. I mean, God is stepping on my toes saying, Matt, I'm not limited by your small thinking. God's saying, Matt, I'm limited by your small obedience. There's only so much I'm going to do in your life when your obedience is like this. And God's not going to force me. You understand that? In a relationship with our Heavenly Father, He is not into forcing us to do stuff. Because then really it wouldn't be love. If I say, God, I love you. I'm going to follow you in obedience. God says, okay, now I can work. Now I can do something. Let's go to point number 2. Preparation releases prosperity. Believe that. We're seeing that. Preparation releases prosperity, while procrastination actually releases poverty. Now, I'm not saying that everybody who's in poverty has been a procrastinator, but I am saying that if you think about this concept we teach for 4 weeks about getting your ducks in a row, and you're like, nah, I'll just put it off till next month, next week, next year, then your procrastination will keep you where you're at. But if you say, I'm going to prepare, I'm going to do something differently, preparation will release in you prosperity. You're like, there it is. Okay, yeah, the prosperity gospel. I knew he was preaching that today. Okay, would you rather me preach the poverty gospel? No. But again, what I'm not saying is you do these things that God's a vending machine, you push the buttons, you become a millionaire. I'm not saying that. All the way back to the blessed life, there are a whole lot of ways for your life to be blessed that doesn't even involve money. It can involve money, and honestly, it probably will involve money. If you trust God with your finances, but you do this with the big picture in mind, saying, God, I'm going to prepare. I'm going to follow your directions, God, to get my ducks in a row, and my life will be prosperous. I want that for you. Proverbs 12:24, it says, diligent hands will rule, but laziness ends in forced labor. Anybody feel like on Mondays you go to forced labor? Now, honestly, as your pastor, I want you to talk to God about what you do for your career then. Because if you feel like every Monday you're going to forced labor, hear my heart in this. You're not doing God's will. You're not living God's will. I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying that if you feel like you're going to forced labor, I described it one time as it's a penalty box between the weekends. You're like, I don't want any of that. God doesn't want any of that for you either. I'm not saying to quit tomorrow and now just rely on the government and they'll provide. No, I'm saying you put a plan together and you put God in the midst of organizing that plan, you can get to a spot where you're not going to forced labor every Monday. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying this, I'll walk there with you. If you want Vision Church to walk there with you, we will do that. That is a part of you living out God's vision for your life. I promise you. Now, I got this chart I want us to look at. Help you visualize this. Two sides of the chart. There's the ducks in a row side, and there's the dig a hole side. And we've all been in a spot we've dug a hole before. We're not going there today. We have a chance to change things today. The ducks in a row side is where we can go. There's a contrast here. The first is faith for the future. Faith for the future. So I'm telling you, next Sunday, and hey, it may scare some people off. I don't care. Where we're going next Sunday, we're talking about tithing, giving offerings, and sacrifice. And I'm not afraid in the least to talk about it. Because I promise you, my house payment, my salary, whatever, it does not depend on whether you give or not. It does not. Because my life mission I told you about earlier is not dependent on Vision Church. So I can tell you this because I love you. Have you got faith for the future? If you come in next Sunday and hear the things I lay out and you say, yes, I'm going to try that, you got faith for the future. If you don't, then honestly, I think you got fear of failure or some other issue. But if you want to take this shift from faith to the future, that's a great shift from fear of failure. And if you have faith truly that God can do something when you get your ducks in a row and that preparation will lead to something prosperous, then we can go somewhere. And that ties into the verse out of 2 Timothy. I love this. A lady came up to me before the service today, and she spoke this verse. 2 Timothy 1:7. She said a couple weeks ago when we did the thing with the board up here, and she whatever wrote it down, believing it would lead to something with her job and that God would bless her. And it did. It did. So when you talk about having faith for the future, that's 2 Timothy 1:7, says God hasn't given you a spirit of fear. A spirit of power and love and sound mind or self-discipline. You take that verse, you say, that's it. My faith for the future is built on that verse. I'm moving over to the ducks in a row side. Second thing on the chart. Use what they have now versus use excuses for what they have now. So if I'm giving you this message, this series, you're like, Pastor Matt, I don't have enough money to get out of debt. I don't make enough money at my job to change anything. I don't have enough skills or talents to do it. You use what you have now. You plus God and those things can be amazing. Don't let it be an excuse to say, I don't have enough, I can't do enough, I can't do this. We will walk with you if you want to truly have faith for the future and say, here's what I got, God, here's what I have. In fact, if you want to be a part of a church that is radically changing the community, you're like, yeah, I do. I believe God has a vision for this church that if you made $37 last week, that you tithe $3.70. You're like, what could $3.70 do? When God looks out at a body and says, I want to feed a bunch of people in this community. I want to send people overseas to do things. I want to go and minister to senior citizens. God said, well, we can only do this much ministry because you only gave this much. And you say, well, what can my $3.70 do? God said, well, It could do another $3.70 worth of ministry. And again, this is not a message to get you to give because, I want to accomplish things in my name. Not at all. This is God saying, hey, Vision Church, I got a vision for you. Is this big? You give this big, we'll do this big. You give this big, we'll do this big. Okay. Continue on the chart. Acknowledge God or assumed of God. In the story, the first two guys, they acknowledge, say, hey, you're the boss man. You told us to manage this well. We're going to do it. The third guy, I want you to go back and reread through this and really analyze what the third guy says. He says, oh, I know you. You're a hard man. You lead this way. You do this things. I think the master stepped back, sighed, and said, you don't know me at all. You think you know me, and you don't know me at all. You know who's saying that? Your Heavenly Father is saying that. If you're standing there saying, God, oh, you're so tough on me. You're so mean. Where's the money? Where's the provision? Where are you at, God? Why'd that happen? You're mean to me. You're not fair. God's saying, you don't know me at all. Come close to me and get to know me. And we'll walk through this together. Let me jump on down to this concept of abundance. And many of us will say, I don't have abundance. This is a perspective shift. This is about being a blessing. As I start to wrap up now, in Isaiah 55, God says, my thoughts are not your thoughts. Neither are your ways my ways. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. He says, I am making you a blessing if you will let me. He says, I will give you abundance if you will accept it. You say, abundance? That only made $37. Well, what if, with that $37, you went into your boss, and your boss is like stressed, worn out, tense. You say, hey, boss, how about I take you out to McDonald's and I'll buy you lunch so you can just kind of chill out today? The boss is like, what? I make like 5 times more money than you. Say, hey, I understand that, but if I could just be a blessing to you, let me go spend $4 on you at McDonald's. And you walk over there and you buy them lunch, and they're like, something different about this person. And you say, God, oh man, I had my 37 and I gave you 370 and I spent $4 on him. What am I going to do with this? Next week, when we talk about testing God, you're like, whoa, we can't test God. Yes, you can. One place in the Bible, God said we can test him. It's with our finances. I want to promise you, when we start thinking differently, like Isaiah 55, and seeing things from his perspective and thinking his thoughts, it will change you and shift you into a spot where now you have faith in the future. God says, you're a blessing. I am blessing you to bless others. That is the blessed life. So to wrap this up, we're going to sing about this, and then you're to leave and take a duck home. You're going to walk out going, whack, whack, whack. Whatever we can do to drill this in. Because I need you to assess where you're at. You are a steward. You are a person that God has a vision for your life. And if you're going into hard labor every Monday, that's not his best. If you're stressed about finances every week, that's not his best. If you're covered up in debt, you say, man, I would love to give a camp scholarship for a kid, but I can't. Oh my goodness, I'm so tight. Then you're not where God wants you to be. And we sing this last song, as you leave today, I want you to spend some time with God this week saying, God, how do you want me to shift? Because I want that blessed life, even if it's not a blessed wallet. Because God wants to see the sincerity of your heart, and that's what I'm praying in our house. God, we want the blessed life. If it's not even a blessed wallet, fine. That's fine. Because there's so much more to this life when God will look at you and say, oh, well done. Well done. I'm so proud of you. And this last thing about God, as you reread the story this week, I'd never noticed this before this time I read it. That third guy, when he kind of gets yelled at and the master takes the one back, you know what the master doesn't do? He doesn't do that. And you're like, yeah, God, you were just trying to take my money back. No, remember? The master, he takes the one and he gives it to the good manager. So he's saying, if you will be a person that manages this well, I'm going to give you more. Like literally, I'm going to take it from somebody who's not managing well and redistribute it to somebody who will manage it well, who will live with my kingdom in mind and will manage it with that type of goal.